So this will be fun. Hey everyone, Dylan Schumacher, Citadel Defense, and we're here today to talk about drones. Now, I had recorded this video a couple weeks ago, and then I filmed a podcast with Jeremy over at Everyday Citizens Tactical. He was kind enough to have me on, and we talked about drones. That's out right now. You can go listen to that. Basically, TLDR there on that is Jeremy just telling me I was wrong about the facts for about an hour and a half, and us discussing that. And then after that, Brent 0331 gave me a phone call, and we chatted a little bit more about drones. And so I think at this point, I'm ready to make my final authoritative video on drones for the American Minuteman. So here we go. So first off, let's just level set here, right? We're talking about one FTX that I was on. So not a super, wealth of experience. I have access to the internet just like you do. So I've watched a ton of the drone videos coming out of Ukraine and Russia, and that's where all the conversation comes from, right? That's what the hotness is. It's the drones, and you always see the drones flying in to kill someone who's by themselves, usually doesn't even have a rifle, behind lines, taking a poop or sleeping or whatever, and they get exploded, right? And that's kind of where all the nightmare fuel stuff comes from. So that's what's driving the hotness of drones. They're all the rage these days, right? So you see that, I see that. I did read half of Don Schiff's book, Poor Man's Air Force. Honestly, I found it boring, so I just stopped reading it, which you might find that more interesting, so you could read it, but it wasn't for me. So that, and then of course, personal experience being on this FTX, right? So again, not all the experience in the world. I'm pulling from some various sources of information that's out there that's available to you too. I'm pairing this with my own personal experience, and I'm trying to think through the lens of, as an everyday American Minuteman, where do drones fit, or how are we going to use them, right? So, bottom line up front, I think I've settled that. Drones are not all that. I think there's some positives and some negatives here. On my FTX experience, as far as I can tell from the available information out there, and there is some debate on this, because if you go listen to my podcast with Jeremy, there's some debate. But my squad was never discovered. That's the information I have right now. Other squads were, we were not. Other squads in our platoon were, we were not. Can debate about that more, but from the available information I have out there, from comments from the PL, from the FTX, or from the AAR and the FTX, at this point, that's what I can determine. So, like how? Let's just go with it. Let's say I'm correct. Maybe I'm not, but let's just say I am. Well, we had overhead cover. We had several feet of standoff with overhead cover, with ponchos and tarps. We had decent tree cover. And the truth is, throughout the exercise, I just don't think drones were that hard to hide from. If you're in any kind of wooded area, I don't think drones really can do much. Now, maybe you can get really super fancy, expensive military-grade drones that can fly through trees and explode you or something, but by and large, they're just not doing that. Even in Ukraine and Russia, right? What do you see? Open fields, dropping bombs, or going in and kamikazing. That's what you see. And that's with, near unlimited resources for drone production, right? So you just don't see drones being very effective in wooded areas. A large portion of the United States is a wooded area, right? I just don't see them being that useful for detection, for finding bad guys, okay? On my first experience at the FTX with drones, they sent up a drone to clear the area. We went to cross this field after we got the all clear, and we all died, okay? We got shot in the middle of the field. Now, I had heard they had checked the tree line. That's what came back to me. They had checked the tree line and there was no bad guys there. Jeremy, on the podcast that we did, told me, no, I was the drone operator. I was never told to check the tree line. I couldn't. I didn't have the ability. I didn't have thermal or anything. I was only told to clear the field. That's what I did. So there could be some miscommunication, but the end result is me and my fire team all died. So whether the drone could or did or didn't check the tree line doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the tree line wasn't checked. The other issue we had with drones on that FTX was we had a friendly fire incident where a drone dropped a bomb on one of our own guys, right? And when I talked to Jeremy on this in the podcast, he said, well, that was probably a communication area because, the RTO couldn't leave the radio to go talk to the drone operator. And I think, okay, I think there's some points to that, right? But as I've thought about it, I'm like, well, that either means we didn't have enough people to run the drone, like to carry messages and so forth. Or again, middle of the day, dropped a bomb on our own guy. We're wearing multicams, they're wearing Woodlands. That doesn't help me out any. So all in, I think here's where I'm at with drones. If you haven't listened to this podcast, I don't want you to feel left out. You don't need to go listen to that. My point is, I don't think drones are super effective at finding bad guys. I don't think that's something that they're good at doing. Even with thermals, in my experience, not the best. When there's a drone, you just hide under some overhead cover and wait it out. And that's really about it. It's not super complicated. You just hide and wait. Now, on the positive side of that, what I do think drones do very well is area denial, because they force you to hide and wait, right? So tactically speaking here, drone tactics, if you were to send drones ahead of you so that everybody has to sit while you move in, right? There's some opportunities for there. Or if you wanted to put them over here in this area so that everybody can't come through this area while you move around here, that could be helpful, right? Like I do think there are places to use the drone to think about the drone. I think area denial is probably the best use of the drone, because if you're a small unit, small team, you're not going to want to move through an area that a drone is actively patrolling, right? That makes total sense to me. But as far as the drones, in my experience and from what I've seen, for finding people, again, particularly in a wooded environment or an area with overhead cover, I would argue like some kind of urban environment, I just don't see it. I just don't see it, both in my experience and in all the footage and stuff that's available to you, that's available to me. You don't see that often. So where does that leave us for drones? I think, again, area denial, good asset. Finding people, no, maybe not. If you were in a firefight and you had a little drone operator in your team and you could call the drone in to go attack right there, basically like a indirect fire, that'd be kind of cool. I think there's some tactical uses for that. But do you need a drone on your small Minuteman team? Probably not. I don't know. Is it the most useful? I don't know. I just don't know. Because what would you try to use that drone for? Well, you would send it to an area to check it ahead of you. Primarily, that's probably what you'd use it for the most. But it's not that good at finding people. So what are you going to send it over there for? You know what I mean? That's my thought. You can send it, it can check, but that gives you like 5% more certainty, 10% more certainty. Let's be really generous. Let's say 25% more certainty. I don't really know what that gains you, right? I don't know what that gains you in a small Minuteman team with your 4, 6, 8. Let's say you got 12 bros. Is it worth dedicating the resource with the batteries, the remotes, the electronics, putting that in a pack, like having a dedicated drone operator? We have to stay stationary and protect him. Like all the tactical considerations that going into having a drone operator on your dedicated Minuteman team, when there's only 4, 6, 8, let's say it's wild, let's say there's 12 of you, is that really worth it? I have a hard time saying yes to that question. The more I've thought about it since that podcast, the more I've reflected on my time at One Shepherd, having my phone chat with Brent afterward, like all these things, I've continued to think about it, and I just can't justify it. Doesn't mean I'm the final word, although that's absolutely the title of this video. Why? Because it's fun. But what it does mean is, I think it's a real consideration that you need to make. What do American Minutemen, you and me, need to do? We need to be good at small unit tactics. We need to shoot bad guys and run away. We need to sucker people into ambushes, right? And do some hit and run, guerrilla style kind of warfare things, right? That's what we need to do. Can drones fit into that? Yeah, sure, absolutely. No doubt in my mind. Do you, as an everyday American Minuteman with just your 6 or 8 or 12 guys, need to roll in drones to your operations? No. I think at some point there is gadget fatigue. There's too many gadgets, there's too much multitasking, there's too many things, you can become task saturated. You can't run all those things. On my team with my boys, we made a rule where everyone gets one gadget and that's it. So if you're the thermal guy, that's it. You're not running binoculars. You're not taking footage or taking pictures for recon, or you're not doing anything else. You're not the compass guy. You are the thermal guy. That's it. Because otherwise it's too many gadgets, it's too many batteries, it's too much charging, it's all this, someone's out, I forgot, it's too much. If you're the GPS guy, that's it. You're on the GPS. You don't have a thermal, you don't have binoculars, you're not doing something else, right? Because we're trying to avoid that task saturation. And would I rather have a thermal and a GPS guy than a drone guy? Like, I have to stop one of my boys from having something else to carry the drone. And then when we use the drone, what do we have to do? Well, we have to stop. We have to send the drone up. We have to let it do its thing. We have to land it somewhere that's not on top of us so people can't find us. Then we have to go get it. Like, there's just a lot of steps to that. And I'm just not convinced that's the most tactically beneficial thing for the everyday American Minuteman, you and me, who want to embrace our martial American heritage. So that's kind of where I'm landing currently on drones. I think there's a lot better things for you to spend your money on, to spend your time on. I think I'd rather you get really good radios or a ruck or that optic you've always wanted or whatever. I think that would probably benefit you more, or a really nice pair of binoculars, than a drone. That's just kind of currently where I'm landing. I don't think that it is as effective as we all think it is. I don't think it is a viable thing to fit inside your small unit for, again, the amount of cost that it has. Again, all the tactics we just discussed. And I just think that given that, I think the money could be spent better somewhere else. Now, if you have 20 guys, or you're a team of 6, but you're the dedicated drone team and you're connected to 6 pipe hitters, I don't know, maybe then. Like, as things get bigger and you can have less direct combat role jobs, yeah, okay. But I'll tell you what won this last FTX that I was on. It wasn't drones. It was aggressive pursuit of the bad guys, right? That's really what won that FTX. We patiently, aggressively patrolled. I made a video about this, about what I learned with patrolling with Brent, and I stand by it. We patiently, aggressively patrolled, found the bad guys, shot at the bad guys. We kicked them out of their patrol base twice. We saw them with our eyeballs moving to a new patrol base. We sent another team into task to follow them to their new area. They kind of got a general area. My team went back in, found them again, right? So that's how we found bad guys. It was the Mark I eyeball. Like, we physically saw them. We physically pursued them. We physically shot at them. We physically fought with them. Like, that was the thing that won that FTX. It wasn't drones. It wasn't anything else. It was just boring, normal, small unit patrolling tactics, which is the thing you should be majoring on, right? Give me 10 or 12 guys who are really good at that over 25 guys who got drones. That's kind of where I landed. I just don't think the time and money investment is the best thing for your American Minuteman team. Again, I'm not saying they're completely invaluable. I don't think they're worthless. I think that the area denial thing in particular is a very good use of drones. I think that there are some pockets and some places they can be used. And because they're the fad, they're the hotness right now, they're gonna be used. And that's fine. I would just tell you, this is a common thing that happens whenever new technology is introduced in combat. People tend to start to over-rely on it. Why? Because it is, or they think it's effective. And then they get fixated on that, and that is what ends up causing them lots of problems. Don't get fixated on the tech. All combat is always going to come down to some guy or group of guys with some guns putting their physical feet in some physical place. That's all it always boils down to every single time. Even in the nuclear age, that's what it boils down to, right? So, you as an everyday American Minuteman who wants to embrace your martial American heritage, that's you. You're the boots on the ground guy. So, embrace that, master that craft, know that there's other things like thermals, like binoculars, like drones that can dabble to help that task, but at the end of the day, don't lose sight of the core mission, which is patrolling with your boys to find the bad guys, right? Seek and destroy. That's all it is all the time. You might destroy and then run away. There's different tactics in there, right? But at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's your job. That's what you should be good at. Don't get so fixated on the gadgets or fixated on, if I don't have the gadget, then I'm at a disadvantage. The only gadget I would say that maybe puts you at a disadvantage of not having is night vision. I don't really consider night vision a gadget anymore. I just consider that normal part of your kit. Night vision is very important. Don't buy a drone, buy night vision if you don't have night vision. A PVS 14 for $2 or $3 grand. I know that's a lot of money. That'll change your life, okay? That's what you need. You need night vision. You don't need drones. I hope that's helpful. I hope that gives you something to think about. You yell at me in the comments here and we can have some rowdy discussion. I don't know. I'm excited. Do brave deeds and endure.